Welcome to the Thunder.
Sound effects didn't go.
Yeah, I didn't hear it.
Oh, you guys don't hear that?
No.
I'm the only one that hears it?
Yep.
Well, dang. Sounded
There you go.
There we go.
Sounded really good for me. All right. This is the Thunder. We got Thomas Schooley back in the front of the bushes tonight. And we also got Johnny Hockey, Johnny Vegas. I don't even know what we call him, but he's got an announcement that he's going to make on this show too. And we're going to talk about the trade deadline today. That happened. But first, we got to go to the man on the streets here. Thomas Schooley just attended what is still going on, apparently, the Lightning induction ceremony in Tampa. Is that the arena?
Yeah, it's inside the arena. I think they didn't get as many people as they expected. It started around 5 o'clock with the blue carpet walk. 2 trolleys came up, unloaded with, I'd say about 90% of the 2004 team, because it is the 20-year reunion also of the 2004 Stanley Cup. And they walked the blue carpet, and then they got to eat. Doors opened up around 7:10, and they just finished. They just taped a live taping of the block party with a couple different guests. They had Wall, they had Lukowicz, they had who else did they have? Boyle, Dinger. Matter of fact, I brought up to Dinger when he walked the blue carpet about us being on the podcast, and that we said we'd make sure there was a 20-year reunion. And he said, that's right. And he's like, and I said, and here we are. He said, thanks to you guys. I said, that's right. It was all us. We started this today. So yeah, it was good. They did a video tribute for some of the players that couldn't make it. They taped Marty St. Louis, did a videotape. One that I think the biggest shock was Hobby Bolin. He did a video messaging saying that he wished he could be here and that he loves Tampa.
He's too busy playing.
Yeah. He was in front of a Russian building, an ice rink. Tim Taylor did a video from a hotel room saying that he was getting ready to be on a plane and he'd be here in about 2 hours. So tomorrow they have the pickleball tournament. They have a blue carpet event tomorrow again before the game, and then they have the game. But right now the ceremony, they had just concluded with Vinnick. They had Jay Feaster came up there and basically went through the whole front office from the 2004 Stanley Cup team, and Torts is here in attendance. Vinny LeCavalier is here in attendance. One of the biggest claps was for Nigel Kerwin, someone who we've also had here on the podcast. One of the biggest louded ovations during the run down memory lane was for Nigel. Talked about
because they all know him.
Yes,
he's been there the whole time.
And that he's someone who's got his name on the cup 3 times. And so it was really good. So far up to people are still sending me reports from inside. They just did a reunion picture with the Stanley Cup. They brought the Stanley Cup out on to the stage, and all the members of the 2004 team came and took a picture of it. And then they just did the announced Brad Richards, and the narration was done by Victor Hedman from one Conn Smythe winner to another Conn Smythe winner.
Very nice. So it's still going on, you said?
Yeah. Brad Richards just now getting inaugurated. After him, you still have Andrechuk. You guys, when this comes out on TV, make sure you see it. It's pretty good. Some of the stories they tell. Wall tells about a story how John Graham, backup goaltender in 2004, overslept the team bus, and Andy decided he was going to get off the bus and go get him. And so while he was off the bus, Torts said, just leave them. And he said, all of a sudden they're leaving. And here is this huge giant guy with 2 braces on his legs running towards the back of the bus going, where are you guys going? And he's like, and it's Andrechuk going, hey. He said it sure looked like Forrest Gump running after the bus. And they made the bus stop, and here comes Andrechuk, and he says he believes Torts wanted to get the no man left behind and wanted to see if the team would speak up for him. And the team ended up speaking up, and they stopped the bus, and everybody got on the bus and went on. So
wow,
it's good. It's good to go to these things if you guys have the chance to go to some of these things, especially about the olden days. Dinger talks about how apparently he just did a tweet not too long ago. So Greg asked him about what he meant when he said the game just isn't like it was that it used to be. And he says back then there was no hooking or tripping. It was jail rules. Anything went.
Yeah, I mean, you can go back just to NHL Network when they do replays, which they do a ton in the off season, and watch any of the games from like the 90s or before, and it's just like, holy crap, this is a totally different game that we watch now.
That's why everybody's liking that new defenseman from the Rangers, because he's really bringing the fight back to the game. And then, and you talk to some of these people that are fighting with him and some of the older guys, and they're happy. When they interviewed Reeves after he just got in a fight with them, he said it's good to see that people are coming back fighting, that fighting's still in the game. So I like this.
Yeah. Any other good stories?
There was quite a few. We would take this whole podcast. I mean, definitely go and look at it. I did get to see Sonia and sitting at her table. It's just full of old guests. I mean, Eric Haraldson sitting at the table with Sonia. So he came walking down the little blue carpet, and I was like, look at this fancy guy.
Did he have one of his spoons in his pocket?
I don't think so. I should ask him.
Did
He might take one from tonight's dinner.
That's cool. Someday I'm going to go to one of those. What about last night? It was Hagel on the block party. You went to that, right?
That was on Wednesday. That was Wednesday night. Yeah. Real good. They asked him if he was a prankster. He's not really a prankster. He missed being roommates with Sorelli. But he said it was weird because last year when he got traded here, he basically got told that there was no way he was getting traded. And then he gets told, hey, you're traded, but I can't tell you where. And he said, and then he goes home and he's freaking out and he's just nervous as to where he's going. And then his mom called him and said, you're going to Tampa Bay. And he's like, what? How do you know? I don't even know where I'm going. And she goes, it's all over the internet. He's like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to Tampa Bay. So it was good.
There you go.
He caught no fish during Cooper's catch this past week. He caught 0.
Yeah, did you see who was in town for Cooper's catch?
Who?
The great one. Yeah.
Oh, yes, I did see that.
Yeah, they got I saw the media meeting.
Oh, here's someone else who's on the blue carpet tonight.
He's always there.
Mr. Titus O'Neill.
Well, I got a good Lightning story too, since we're talking about old Lightning stories, and I'm sure other people saw this article this past week too about Tyler Johnson getting told that he was going to be traded, except it was Ben Bishop on the call. He got prank called, and Ben Bishop was trying to be Stevie Y and tell Tyler Johnson he was traded. Do you see that story?
No. Sorry, here's photos I'm getting from inside. Here is we don't need to see that. There's the picture of everybody in the Stanley Cup from the 2004 team that was there tonight. So
what a night. So next time they're together, 2029, 25th anniversary.
Yeah. Well, just think of. I thought it was really odd. I see no current players here tonight.
Well, they're probably busy practicing.
But come on
Did
now.
they come last year?
Yes.
Yeah.
You had Hetty. You had Hetty. You had Stammer. You had Vassy was here. It just not even Coop's here, which surprised me. You do have JBBs in attendance. All the Lightning front office is here.
Gotcha. Hey, we got a question from Joe. From Joe Fred here. So we're gonna make the playoffs or what?
Yes.
The trade deadline has passed. Speaking of Eric Erlinson, he was on our last show, and I do remember bringing up a guy named Matt Dumba as a potential trade partner, and now he is on the Lightning. So there you go. We got our two new bolts started. Declare was what, Thursday, with the early trade to get Anthony Declare, who's having a pretty good season with a pretty bad team. So just like we talked about, bottom six, addressing that. And then I guess I should say depth on defense, because everyone jumped all over me when I made the assumption that Matt Dumba is going to play top 4 defense minutes, which he is going to, unless he's really that bad.
Nope.
So yeah, we were expecting depth on defense, and we were expecting the bottom 6 forward, and they got them both for a relatively cheap price. We gave away Jack Thompson.
Where were you when you saw Hannafin was traded to Vegas?
I was maybe in the bathroom. I don't know.
John,
I didn't think he was coming. I didn't think they were going to be able to pull that off.
Listen, so we were here for the block party when it came down, and the place went nuts. It quickly went through the whole Cigar City. Everybody freaking out about it. The internet, I don't know if you read, the funniest comments were on the Lightning tweeting out that Hagel was on the block party, and people were losing their shit. Like, how can you tweet anything else besides some kind of trade this close to the trade deadline? It was like, why are you tweeting this out? Why are you doing this? Blah, 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 blah. How could you let Hannafin? Now, Hannafin's at the hotel right next door to the block party, literally. I came out front moments before they announced it. I mean, literally moments before they announced it. Came outside, talked with Greg Wolf. Greg Wolf was doing his pre-notes for his interview for the block party. And I said, Greg, what do you think they're going to do? He's like, have you ever known JBB not to do something? I said, absolutely not. He's like, he's got all this money sitting here. There's no way he doesn't use it. He's like, there's definitely something. I said, well, can't we just go over and ask Hannafin to come and be the block party person? Like, can't we just do that since he's going to be the next Lightning player? He's like, man, I sure hope so. Then literally I walk back inside the block party and then see the info that he's getting traded to Vegas and say,
yes.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and I know they really wanted him, but the problem was we just didn't have anything to give up for him. I don't know how Vegas does it. It seems like every trade deadline since they've been in the league, they make some major moves, and they still are.
Wait! I gotta prove him wrong real quick. You know I'm right. I gotta prove you wrong, because Bogosian wanted to come back to Tampa, and
he asked his daughters, and they said, "I want to go to Tampa."
And the Lightning offered him a contract, and he said, well, let me see what else I can get, and ended up then calling us back and saying, oh, I want you. And they said, sorry, we've already spent that money. And so he spent that 1 year. Was it him? It was, or was it Shen?
That was Bogosian.
Spent the 1 year in Toronto. And then as soon as his 1 year, he's like, okay, now sign me back. And so they signed him back. So
and now he got almost suspended. He got re-signed.
To the Wild for 2 more years.
Yeah, extended, I should say. So yeah, go Bogo. But I want to put it out there for the chat. I definitely want to hear what I'm right thinks. Like, what are your what is everyone's thoughts on the trade? Like, give me a trade grade, or just give me what you think about each player.
I want to see grades out there, and I want to know your guys' grades. Real quick, Kim, I see you say they have a game tomorrow. Why would they be there? They had a game following the next year. Last year, following the next day. They always do it before a game that's meaningful. So the reason why they picked tonight and tomorrow's game is because that would bring Cooper into. I mean, not Cooper. That bring Torts into town. And it also brings Wall, who helps with them. So
yeah. All right. Well, Anthony Duclair. We played against him. I think we all learned to really hate him when he played for the Panthers, because that's when he seemed to be the biggest thorn in our side. And, for what they gave up, a player and a draft pick, a middle draft pick, it's a spark. I think it was, I'm right, I had a post here earlier. Hopefully these deals give us a spark. And I think they will. These are two guys that are like not afraid to back down from a fight. Very, very physical players. So that right away can give you a spark in any single game. Duclair's having a really good season offensively. I think everyone would be pretty happy with Connor Sheary. Connor Sheary had 16 goals right now. But Sheary did score last night, didn't he?
Yeah.
So that's a plus. But yeah, Anthony Duclair to give us a little bit more depth. And then I really feel like the other move with Dumba, and we did talk about it when I brought it up last week. JBB's been trying to get Matt Dumba forever. And he's got a very weird career path, because he looked like he was growing and getting better, like he was gonna be one of the top defensive men in the NHL. And then whatever happened, I think it was when he got injured, he's been kind of downhill since. And the Wild didn't re-sign him. He didn't get a good contract in the last offseason like he thought he was going to get. Ends up in Arizona on a 1-year contract. So lucky for us, we get him for almost nothing. So is this going to be a replacement for Sergachev? No. But for folks that haven't followed hockey in a long time, he's a right-handed defenseman. Teams love right-handed defensemen. You don't. There's just not as many great or good right-handed defensemen in the NHL. So Hannafin was a left-handed defenseman, and my thoughts on Hannafin were I was never really that impressed with him. He is a solid NHL defender, and the Lightning would have to overpay for him. And all the Lightning really have is a real player bargaining chip in their system.
And the Lightning would have had to extend his contract. And supposedly there was a contract extension on the table. He was plain in saying that he did not want to go to a team that was not going to – he didn't want to be a rental player. So there's got to be some kind of contract extension that was going to be worked out. It was rumored that there was a contract extension laid out by the Lightning. But I think other pieces had to fall from that. I heard Cirelli, and me and Stephanie were talking about this earlier today. We heard Cirelli was on the block. You would have had to have one of those probably pieces to go had you agreed to something with Hannafin, some kind of extension. This year, we end up getting these 2 rental players, and JBB does not like rental players. He hasn't turned that. He's usually turned the guys we pick up, and for some reason, he always does 2. He always doesn't want to do odd man out. He brings them in a buddy so that they can come here together. But these 2 look like they can truly be rentals. Possibly Duclair a little bit longer. I don't know if Dumba will be in long term for us, but we have looked for him for years. But these are right now just considered rentals because we're going to be in cap hell again next year.
Yeah, and I think if Hannafin came in, like you said, he's gonna get signed or re-signed or extended, and if that happens, I really feel like then bye Stamkos.
Yeah,
If that's the case, because they wouldn't be able to keep him. John, what do you think of Declare and Dumba? D&D coming to TB.
For Dumba, I really like him. I think he's a top 4 defenseman, and he can score. And everybody loves Hedman for his scoring, and I'm a stats guy, and people hate that. I think Hedman scores a half a point a game. Dumba's like 0.7 points per game, so I think he'll bring some extra points from the defensive standpoint. And for Declare, in his career, he's a 0.52. He was on the second line with the Panthers and did pretty well. And we gave up a guy that everybody loves in Killorn, who was only a 0.54. So I like him. I think they're going to help us finish out the season.
Yeah, and I do feel like these are two guys that can give you a spark. Dumba's known for laying out the big hits. Like, people are upset Lilleberg is back down, right? Well, Dumba's going to fill in where Lilleberg left off as far as flattening guys. And he's not afraid to go after the star players on the other teams. And guess what? All the teams ahead of us got way better today. It just got way more competitive. And even
this year was a buyer's market. It seemed like there was no player that was untouchable. Even Crosby gave them a short list of teams he would be willing to go to, with Colorado being number 1 for him. So
I read he was almost a Ranger today.
Yeah,
it was close.
Literally, this was the biggest open market. I mean, you saw Buffalo trade away their captain, Okposo.
That was a shocking move. He's been there forever, and I thought that was the sneakiest move of the day, too.
Yeah.
With Florida getting a veteran guy like that, a good move by them.
And then you saw Vegas, every time Florida got somebody, Vegas would trump them. Vegas got that last call in of the day, which was Hurdle. And then you had Jersey getting the goalie.
Finally.
Yeah.
But then they also traded Tyler Toffoli.
Yeah. And then they
make up your mind. Are you buyers or are you sellers?
And then Winnipeg all of a sudden woke up today, and everybody, I have every single beat writer for all 32 teams on Twitter notifications, especially around trade deadline. I love seeing them go through. And literally their beat writer was all about how we're sellers. And then all of a sudden, here they fucking go, start picking up people. And they're like, well, okay, I guess we're in this race.
All right. Well, we got to give our grades, or I guess no one in the chat's going to give their grades. So do we do just the trade deadline as a whole, or you want a grade for each trade?
Let's do both and then do one as a whole.
I think Declare is an A to me, and Dumba is a B, because you got nothing to lose with Matt Dumba. He's got to play well, because he's trying to get himself a contract for next season, whether it's here or somewhere else. And we needed defensive depth. People were talking, like I said earlier, about like him. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have said he's a top 4 defender, but on this team, he definitely is. We have Perbix and we have Radish, so those are top 4 defenders on our team. Well, here's the problem with that: we're a horrible team defensively. So maybe he does something to make us better defensive. And like I said, he's going to be playing top 4 minutes, I'm sure, unless they get him in here, he's just that bad. So yeah, an A and a B for what they did with what they had to give up. Overall, I would give JBB a B for pulling a rabbit out of his hat too.
All right, John, what say you?
For Declare, I'm going to give it a grade A. I don't think he's going to be a bottom 6 forward. I think he eventually ends up with Hagel and Cirelli on that second line.
I was going to ask you guys that too. How he finishes the season on the second line, doesn't he?
I believe so, and I think he puts up some numbers with us once he gets comfortable.
Yeah, because it's almost like that last spot, that 6 spot's just kind of been the missing piece. But yeah, good point.
And for Dumba, I'll give it a B plus. I think he's going to fill in nicely and play for a contract. And since we've wanted him for so long, I have to believe that JBB has a plan to re-sign him. I can't imagine he's going to let him walk.
I say A&E for Declare, A- for Dumba. I think on this team, they both shine. With what we had and what they're replacing, I think it was definitely an upgrade in both positions. Declare is fast.
Both these guys are fast.
He's gritty. He's fast. He's going to get along with these guys. He's a veteran. This is a veteran team. We shuffled in those AHL people, the Syracuse people, and I think he really solidifies that forward positions. And Dumba, I was reading all the comments on Thunderbolts. I was reading all the things on Twitter. His statistics haven't been great this year, but look at the team he's on. We talked about, me and Stephanie were talking about this earlier. You talk about these people who are our bottom six or, our bottom line, and then they go be a top line at another team. And everybody's like, oh my God, we should have kept them. We should have kept them. That's what Declare can bring to us. That's something where that's something Dubas can bring to us. It's these things that it's the product of the team they're on compared to what they're going to get with Tampa. You can't. It's easy to get one line to defend a Cooch Point, Stammer, or Paul, or Hagel, whatever line. But then you're gonna have to cover a Stamkos, Declare, Sorelli, Paul, go on and on. A Sherry, Icemont. You go down this line, and then they've already said Janot's coming back in next week. Where's all this going to shape up? Who's going to be the odd man out? Declare may even play tomorrow. They said he was arriving in Tampa today, so he's here. Probably right across the street at the Addition, which Dave Point and I did a horrible review of for.
I saw that
all over the internet. You got to look at the team they're joining compared to the teams that they're on. When he was with the Florida Panthers, he was good. And that was the product of that team. Look at the product of our team. I think they flourish here.
I'll pose another question. Duclair's an ex-Ranger player. Can you name one Ranger player that's not come here and did us right?
And revived their career, yeah.
Every one of them. So,
yeah, and he's had a good season.
And here was Plan B. Plan B was Savard back, so who ended up not going nowhere. So I'll take Dumba over Savard.
I would like both, to be honest with you, but I guess I should be happy with what we got because it's just depth.
I was a little upset giving away Jack Thompson. I really think Jack Thompson had a very good potential to be up here. Especially cracking the line maybe next year. So I was upset that they had to give up that piece, but that's all we had to give up in these drafts. I mean, literally,
Thompson over Crozier.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Crozier's got the experience up here.
He's got that
But
Anton Strawman.
I really thought Thompson could have done good up here.
Calmness.
Yeah, but JBB, I'm sure, tried his best to send ABB on that trade instead of Thompson, but I don't think they were going for that. Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's better than I thought it would be because I really didn't know what they would do, and all we really heard about was Noah Hannafin, and my whole thing with him was like Calgary fans don't really care that he's not going to be back next season. They're not even trying to re-sign him to keep him. So how great a player is he? I do like what Vegas did, getting him for depth, which they need defense too, but also that hurdle. That last minute trade to get him was a pretty good combo for them. And it's funny because most of these teams, again, all of them, everyone that's like in position to make the playoffs made some serious moves. And did you notice that all of them almost made two moves? The JBB special, you had Carolina getting 2 players, Gensel and Knetsov from
so the
Washington.
Hall of Fame has just ending. You can see everybody walking out of Amalie Arena right now. So the ceremony has ended.
All right, go get Dinger. We didn't mention this one yet, but this one was kind of like a gut punch because the Boston Bruins now have Patty Maroon, the good luck charm.
Oh, here's Brian Bradley.
What are your thoughts on that, John?
Have a good night, Brian.
Good night. Have a good one, man.
They were already good, so I don't know if he's going to be their charm.
He's their cheerleader. He's their on-ice cheerleader.
Yeah, the name Patty and the Bruins go hand in hand, so I guess.
Well, we're gonna have a little fan group
get
coming
in
over
there.
here. Hold
Just
on,
in
we
time
got
for St. Patrick's
We
Day.
got some fans coming in behind us.
What up, everybody?
What else? What else did you guys see today? The Rangers, they doubled up and got Wenberg. They got the other kid from what was his? The guy from Columbus. And then you mentioned Devils got a goalie. The Devils got Jake Allen. Winnipeg went out and got a couple players to Foley from the Devils, and then they also got Miller with them. Panthers, we didn't mention Panthers got Tarasenko, which he was linked to the Bolts a little bit too. But I don't know. I think Tarasenko is kind of definitely at the end of his career. But, you know, good depth for the Panthers.
Never shows up in the playoffs, so go get him.
Yeah. And then the Leafs made a couple moves too for Joel Edmondson, Lubishkin, and trying to shore up their defense, what they desperately need to do. I wasn't that impressed with what they did. But yeah, all these teams making some pretty solid moves today. At least we did something to keep up with the rest of the league here. Will it be enough? I don't know. But like I'm right said, if it gives them a spark is what they need now, because what they've done since the break has not been good enough. That's for sure. So if this can wake up this team a little bit, hopefully it will help, because now is when you start to see these teams really start to crack down on their defense, which we know is not the Lightning's strength. And as the season starts to get to a close here, that's when you start seeing these high-scoring games become lower-scoring games. You know, maybe just a lot more of those 2-1 games. So we'll see if that benefits or hurts the Lightning.
So real quick, let me ask grades that you guys think about the trade today. Duclair and Dubas. What kind of grades do you
It's
get?
not a secret. I'm not a big fan of the
Duclair, yeah.
deal, but Dumba, I'm good with that. We did get him for a lot.
In case you don't know, Adrian, if you follow Freeze the Puck, what's called?
Lightning strikes.
No, well, Freeze the Puck you do.
Yes.
Yeah, for Freeze the Puck, he does the memes for that, for anything Tampa Bay Lightning. But he's also an admin for Lightning Strikes Group.
And not a Declare fan.
And not a Declare fan, but that is why
Well, he is now.
as an admin for Thunderbolts. So what do you guys, what grades? A, B, C, D, E? What
I
do you think?
say C because I don't feel like they're going to make a difference on our team at all.
Oh,
I'm gonna give it a D. I really dislike the Duclair deal.
he's over at the addition right now.
Oh, is
why,
he?
why don't you go let him know that?
Wait, who's over there? Duclair?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, he came into town today.
I think I don't like giving up a 3rd round pick for that. But the Duba deal though, I actually like that a lot. And I think for what's left of the season,
Yep.
for what's left of the season, I think he'll make a decent impact.
So what I said is I think in our system, though, I think and same with Dumba. I mean, you look at
With Trash Hill.
Well, you look at our players. Dumba's not going to be able to get Trash Hill's defense. he's going to have to play the defense he knows, and he's just going to hit people. But if you think about our guys that have been on our bottom six and how they go and flourish in a better environment, you got Duclair's who's going to have more ice time here and is going to play with a better team. I think and same with Dumba. I think he'll get more time.
Maybe I'll start tracking trash.
Duclair, I think will play tomorrow. I think that's what Coop has said. Oh, apparently they're both playing tomorrow. So.
Sweet. So debuts tomorrow. We got a question for John here that we almost missed. John used to play goalie. I don't know if we ever mentioned that before. So he's got the question here: is Vasi feeling the effects of surgery, or does our defense stink, including our offensive players not getting back? I know what I think on that, but it's a good question. Is it Vasi or is it our crappy defense?
I think when Vasi was able to steal games, we had better defense in front of them, both forwards getting back. In these last month or so, you have guys standing around, not back checking, not going to where the puck is going to be. That pass that Hedman let get through in the game against Calgary was, I can't believe that he didn't put his foot out. Nothing. It just went right to Calgary. And yeah, I think he's in shape, but I think we're just not playing that good in front of him.
Can I show you guys one? I had this pulled up because I was looking at stats or highlights of the Buffalo game last week, which we lost in overtime, and this was the goal in overtime, and this drove me crazy. So watch what happens. Dahlin, who scores the goal, passes it over here, and yes, we're shorthanded. We only have 3 players. They have 4. But watch Dahlin. Give and go, goes right to the net. And, Glendening tried, but, that's so soft. That's so soft. You can't do that to lose a game and lose a point. You just can't do that. And I know they were shorthanded, but, yeah.
I think it's both, because you hear from both all the experts that are out there that are saying that you can tell that Vasi's still not 100% good. But
if as a goalie, I can tell you there are pucks that he's not squared up to, and he's given up the goal because he's squared up to the man and not the puck. And I've seen that a lot, which is not characteristic of him in his play.
Yeah, something's still up with him. And you know what? It's been going on for a while, because I feel like you could go back 12, 14 months and say this is not the Vasi we've been used to.
There's Linda Barrows and Lee. We got a whole groupie table here now.
Groupie table. Oh, we got a groupie. You're groupie?
No groupie.
But,
Yeah, Dave,
but yeah,
they head out to the table and meet up for comments.
I'm not wrong about that, though, right? It seems like it's been a while since Vasi has been truly shut down. I feel like it's been over a year now.
Yeah, he hasn't stolen a game for us in a while.
No, yeah, I think he just needs some time off, and I keep looking to see when Johansson's going to get the start, and it's just not happening.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, we have a very important announcement from John here. I don't know if you see that that he has there, but John's been messing around coming on with us, and Rays baseball is starting up. And John, I'll let you tell the people about what your plans are for baseball season.
Just plan on starting a Tampa Bay Rays podcast, as you can see right there in Raisian on X. Me and the guy Phil, and hopefully you guys will join us and talk as much Rays as you can. Rock Riley has mentioned he'll come on, but we're just going to talk about Rays. What we do here with we the Thunder, we want to do with the Rays, and just have fun with it.
There you go. So stay tuned. When are you getting started?
Opening day, I hope. I have
Are you Got a couple weeks.
We're having some issues, but we're getting there.
All right, so keep an eye out for that. We'll definitely post that out when you get started. Maybe if you'll allow me to come on,
Absolutely.
I will tell you what I don't like about baseball. But actually, I will say I'm not a baseball guy for sure. But I did like the rule changes that they put in last year. I do like the pitch clock. It makes it tolerable for me to be able to watch baseball now.
As a lifelong baseball fan, I do too.
So ironic that they're playing down in the Dominican Republic, and they might. I wonder if someone's going to try to climb on the team plane.
I wonder.
That's how I got here.
I wonder if
we've made an agreement that he will never be a topic on our show.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. Well, what are these other moves that you guys were impressed with? Who do you think's the cream of the crop in the NHL now? Besides us, obviously, we're going to win a Stanley Cup, right?
I like the Hurdle trade to Vegas. That's a big move for them, I think.
I say the trade. I think the Panthers pulled off probably the best overall trade to improve their team over anybody else. Yeah, they were already the number one team, and then I think they just improved theirs and all around.
Or they fucked it all up. Because when you're playing that well, and you bring in two, three different people, that can mess things up.
That can destroy the whole chemistry in the locker room. But I definitely think Florida was the big winner at the trade deadline.
Yeah,
I think teams that really didn't do anything that really surprised me. I don't think Philly did enough. I don't think New Jersey did enough.
Washington really didn't do anything, and they're kind of right behind us. Toronto made some moves. They tried to get some defenders, but nothing impressive.
Yeah, Toronto, I thought really was going to go out there and try to get some of these big names, and ended up with nothing. So
a little note on the Maroon trade. He was shifted to long-term IL. He's not going to play for them.
Yeah, he's been on long-term IR, but
Carolina, I think,
did back. He'll play for him in the playoffs.
Carolina, I thought, did some good moves too.
I was going to say Carolina. They in their thing has always been they'd make moves in the off season, but they wouldn't make them during the trade deadline. Like, you can't really think of too many big trades they made. They made 2 big trades today, so. Carolina is definitely one of my favorites in the East, and also obviously the Panthers. I think the Panthers make it further just because the core of that team's been through so much. Right?
That's definitely when you talk about how you might add people that, mess up the locker room. Just ask the Rangers with Kane and Tarasenko last year.
Now, if you want to bring that up, though, look at what the Rangers did this year, which was actually much smarter moves. Let's not just go after these big-name guys that, might not gel with the rest of the team. Bring in a Winberg, bring in a Roslovic, and these are guys that might fit in pretty well there. So they didn't do too bad. Not as impressive as what I saw from some of the other teams, but man, all these teams are looking good. And these teams in the West, I think the power has shifted now. I think that there's better teams in the West than there are in the East for now.
I think you got 3 big ones in the East, and then all the rest is the West.
Yeah, I mean, talking about
I think for years, though, it's always been the competition has been over in the East, and where they're all bunched up, and the West has been your top 8 teams really pull away and everything else. And now I think teams over in the West are realizing everything's open for business over there. Like, you just start winning, you can take it all over there, and look what Vegas did last year. And they're definitely the one to look at this year.
I mean, who's your guys' favorite in the West to make the Stanley Cup Finals? Because you can almost pick any playoff team. The Jets, the Oilers, Colorado, Vegas, Dallas. Like, that's all. It's a long list of. I think all those teams are Stanley Cup contenders. I think they all can make it there.
Experience and depth, I would say Vegas.
Not easy to go back to back though.
I know, or back to back to back.
True. Scully, what do you think? What team are you taking in the West?
You got to go with Vegas. With everything they picked up, you got to go with Vegas. And I
They've
saw an article
Vegas
today.
has been bad though lately. They have not been good. That's
No.
why they made this moves.
But with this addition of Hurdle, the rumor is this is the end of Marchessault's career in Vegas. So it looks like next year Marchessault will be the big offseason target.
Or not so big.
Yeah.
Sorry, little guy joke. All right. Well, what else you guys got? I'm tired.
Yeah, if you go to the game tomorrow, get down here, go to the blue carpet event, see most of the 2014. They'll be drunk coming back from a pickleball event. So they'll even be in better spirits. And then come cheer them on as they take on Torts. Philadelphia Flyers, which I think is going to be a playoff preview.
Torts got some love tonight, but not tomorrow.
Yeah, we're getting down to must-win territory. We have, I think, 18 games left.
Yep.
And I didn't watch last night's game. So actually, can you guys give me a quick review on how the hell we lost to Calgary?
Flat-footed.
We stood around and did not stop
watched-
anything.
we
And
watched-
Calgary is a team that gives up so many goals. And of course, Blake Coleman scored against us on just like every other Lightning player. But Calgary is a team that you could score plenty of goals on, and we couldn't even get a shot on the fucking net.
Mhm. Yeah, we didn't have a shot for the first 8 to 10 minutes. It was bad. And Markstrom
weird.
played really well. And for a guy who asked to be traded, didn't want to be there. He stood on his head on the shots we didn't have.
That's Wild. For a team that's got so much talent to sometimes look so bad, it's insane. And poor Cooch, my gosh, my guy is still doing his thing out there. All he wants to do is this again, and we can't give him any help. He's the reason why he's still even in the conversation for that Hart Trophy is because he's 50 points now ahead of the next closest player. It might be more than that. As far as points on the Lightning, like it's ridiculous how he is carrying this team. And if that stays the same, he might win that Hart just based on that stat of the second best player on the Lightning has 70 less points than him by the end of the season. That's like unheard of.
Yeah, no, they need to find more scoring. I'm hoping this little resurgent now that trade deadline's over and some players are not worried about whether they're staying or going. You get to see them buckle up now and start getting in playoff mode.
Cool. Well, I have to mention GT Financial's awesome giveaway, their VIP Ultimate giveaway, Thomas Gooley. Awesome, amazing seats right behind the net on the glass. Hopefully everyone has already entered for this. If you haven't entered, we will be posting tomorrow a link to enter. You can win yourself those awesome seats for the game against Toronto in April at Amalie Arena. You can also win a signed Nikita Kucherov stick and some Lightning swag. So go check out GT Financial. Look for that post we're going to post tomorrow. It's going to be a picture of Nikita Kucherov. Spoiler alert. And you can have his stick if you win this, along with some great seats. So go check that out and sign up for that if you haven't already. All right. What else you guys got? Are we wrapping this thing up?
Let's get out of
Out
here.
there in the chat. Justin Russell's in the house. I like the young guys in our lineup this year. Lily Crozier and
Lily and Crozier both set down back to Syracuse today. They can be called up at any time, but they're both been sent back down. So
Did you guys
And part
talk
of that,
Maroon going to Boston?
Yes.
Going to bring them a Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
No.
That's their Lord and Savior. Hopefully, is Maroon.
He's won so many. He's got a replica. He's just
Yeah.
gonna bring it in the
No,
locker room.
it's just a cap move. That's all it was. If that guy actually puts on a Bruins jersey, I'll shit myself.
You heard
I
it here
think he
first.
will.
You heard it here first. Adrian will shit himself.
I feel
We will
like-
get video footage of that from Serena if it
I
happens.
feel like Maroon was kidding.
Adrian, I think he's playing. I think he's going to play for them for sure. Once he gets healthy, he's going to get in the lineup. They need someone to protect Pasta. That's basically all he's going to do: protect and you know, be a good luck charm. Be the cheerleader on the ice that he is.
You know, fantastic.
Yeah, I want to see the meeting between him and Jack Edwards. Let's see who brings.
Oh, that's true. I didn't even think about that.
Oh yeah.
See who brings the pizza. If it's Maroon or Edwards.
All right. Well, hey,
Together.
if anything today, we got a little bit of hope, a little bit extra hope on this season. Listen, something had to happen. So at least we got some players in here. Maybe they make something happen. It'll be fun to watch tomorrow night and see these guys. It sounds like both of them are going to play. Yeah, they did something. John, you got anything else for the people before we get out of here? Enrasion is what it's called, right?
Invasion. Yep.
I'm going to enrage against the machine here. Schoolie and the lurkers at Amalie Arena. You guys got anything else for us?
Go Bolts.
Go Bolts!
Go Bolts.
Grab
Well
it.
said.
Steal the
All
cup.
right, this has been We the Thunder. Don't
Yeah, the
forget
cup will be in the
to-
building again tomorrow. So if they can grab that real quick.
Yeah.
And the Conspice here, so we can grab it and just keep it here in Tampa. That'd be great.
That might be the only way it stays here this summer. So grab that trophy. And don't forget to be the Thunder.
Which one?